They pop crowds. They pop corn. They pop culture. It's the Lowdown with Shane and Elliot.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest installment of the Lowdown Popcast. I am the voice of PCW, Elliot Popston. Alongside of me is the founder of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic. He is the host of the Shane event. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for New York's greatest export, Shane Dorr.
Yes, and all I could say is suck it, Gary Lamb. The hottest professional wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic, and I can say that because you're not here.
That's right. Well, man, dude, I'm ready to jump right into it. We have an up and coming country music star. He's my brother-in-law. Check out his latest singles. Whiskey and You is probably one of my favorites. I love the lead guitar, especially in that.
Well, anything with alcohol is good.
Whiskey and You, Hardin Street. He's South Carolina's very own Taylor Ingle. Taylor, what's up, boss?
How are y'all, man?
Oh man, we living.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
I'm ecstatic, bro. I love country music,
Dude. So, yeah, as we told you earlier, man, we just like kind of shoot from the hip and seeing just where everything goes. Man, so you've been doing this how long now?
2 years, technically, I guess, for writing and performing. A little bit longer with the guitar, thanks to a certain brother-in-law of mine.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, okay. I see what this is.
He's a good guy. No, and man, you've seen quick success, pretty much. I would say, faster than a lot of people out there, and so take us on this journey, man. What's it been like?
It's been honestly, I was kind of thinking about that today. About I feel like this year has been like 7 years into just one. I feel like every month that I've had this year has been like a whole year in itself, if that makes sense, just because of how fast everything has moved. And I was thinking today about where back in January, recording Whiskey and You and then releasing it, and just kind of how fast things kind of took off in a couple weeks. And then, it's funny how it's like a domino effect and stuff just starts to build on top of each other. Pretty much as far as the journey has been, I just released a song and people liked it. And it kind of got me a little notoriety around South Carolina. And then, so I've just kind of been trying to ride that wave for the last couple months.
Yeah. And so I know, man, you've had, especially in the summer, you had a big opportunity with the Carolina Country Music Festival. How did that, walk us through that process? Like, how'd that go down? Was it just happenstance? Was it something where, you'd caught wind that they were looking for people? Well, how'd that work? How'd that go down?
Yeah, I'll tell you, my circumstance was, I got very fortunate, and I met two of the guys that actually run that event and help back it financially and pretty much do everything from start to finish. And I met them back in January, coincidentally, the same time when I released the song. And they ended up wanting to add me to the list of artists for CCMF. So obviously I quickly obliged for it. So it was a right place, right time, I would say.
Yeah, and I saw you kind of up close and personal with old Strawberry Wine, Dina Carter in a photo, right?
Yeah, that's right. Probably one of the hottest 56-year-old women I've ever met in my life.
She still look good?
Yeah. Oh, does she still look good? I mean, you
don't have to have the wine goggles on to realize that, do you?
Yeah, Dina, if you ever listen to this, just know that I'm single, and we can rekindle what we had there at CCMF.
Hey. Hey, listen, you might want to talk to your mom about having a 56-year-old daughter-in-law.
Oh my Lord, that is an interesting situation if you think about it.
Set for life.
No, she was cool, man. That was that whole experience was really cool. I'll tell you one thing that I think was kind of blew my mind was I didn't realize how much of a songwriter that she was. I never really looked into it, but I thought one of the cool things was one of my favorite songs for the last 10 years or however long it's been since it's been released is You and Tequila, Kenny Chesney cover.
Oh, yeah.
And turns out that she actually wrote that. And I did not learn that until this summer at CCMF when she played it. And I thought that was pretty wild.
Was that the same event where Rodney Atkins was too?
No, that was Carolina Adventure World.
I got you.
So CCMF, that was Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean.
Luke Bryan,
I'm Luke Bryan, man. Come on.
Oh my God.
Country girl, shake
he sounds
it for
just
me,
like that
girl.
too.
It was a long list of superstars, so you could say Chase Rice, Keith Urban, John Party.
Was there? Have you come across any? Well, let me back up. Who would you say so far has been like some of the favorite big names that you've come across and been able to have a show with, hang out with, whatever, and
learn from,
have a conversation with, so forth?
I would say Matt Still is probably one of the top three of them for sure. He's a hell of a performer, hell of a songwriter. He kind of came from the trenches, I guess you could say. He started from the bottom, and he's starting to catch fire now. He's a really cool guy. He's always, anytime I text him with anything, he always responds, pretty relatively quickly. And I kind of like to base my style, not my style, but I kind of see myself drifting towards his style of music now. He's it's kind of like this wave going on now with contemporary country where you adding kind of some rock vibes to it, but also keeping it country, and he's doing that very well.
So, it's to me a lot of the popular country right now is very 90s country like.
Yep.
Very 90s country,
which is not a bad thing,
and southern rock country, which I like both.
Yes.
That's what I really actually I get that southern rock country vibe really with Whiskey and You. As well as some of that 90s country.
That's what I was gonna lead to. So yeah, I come from the 90s country genre. That's probably my favorite genre of music of all time. Just because, the Trace Adkins, the Tobys, the Rebas, those are all my favorite artists. So who are your influences?
Cool, man. I'll tell you what, that's almost like that's one of the toughest questions that I get. And as far as country goes, I would say, I'll tell you, Brad Paisley. My style might not be like Brad Paisley, but I listened to him a lot when I was younger.
I mean, he's amazing. So
yeah, I remember. I'll tell you what's crazy. This is an indirect way to answer this question, but I would have to credit a lot of my musical influences thanks to my father. Growing up, going on road trips and stuff that we would do, he would play anything under the sun from 70s, 80s yacht rock to Grundy County Auction to
still does.
Yeah, still does.
Yeah.
Still does. He's one of the most well versed people that I know as far as when it comes to the random facts of music and honestly taste in music. I don't think that he's ever played a bad song for me. And so it's like my influences are more than just country.
Yep.
I tell you what, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, even when they were together in Genesis, like that sound, that's a big one. Fleetwood Mac, obviously. And, we get into the 90s, like Goo Goo Dolls and stuff like that. And my sister exposed me to Sequoia Prep School. And I think that's kind of an influence, too, of mine. So it's cool. It's like, I don't know, I got an influence for every decade, I guess.
Yeah, people, like me and your sister. Those of you who don't know, I'm
my wife
Taylor. Taylor's my brother-in-law, and stuff. And me and Lindsay, we were just talking about Sequoia Prep School. Couple weeks ago, just talking about how good you forget they were at the town, a band right out of Florence, South Carolina, toured together, and it was definitely the high school rock, I guess is what.
Yeah, that was the poster of if you graduated between the years of
2000.
It was it was Sequoia Prep School, especially here in South Carolina.
Absolutely,
so we play a couple of their songs every now and again.
Dude, so much musical talent has come out of South Carolina. Like, I don't even think people realize.
I know. I don't. Yeah, a lot of people. I was just having that conversation the other day with somebody. I was, it seems small when you just name people like Darius Rucker, Edwin McCain, but there's more. I mean, everybody forgets James Brown's from here in South Carolina.
But Sister Hazel, aren't they from South Carolina?
Yeah, they have roots here. I don't know exactly what they are, so I won't.
Need to Breathe is from South Carolina.
Need to Breathe, and then Mark Bryan. The whole Hootie and the Blowfish scene.
Big Hootie fan. Big Hootie fan.
Elliot Weston.
There's a see that? See that? There it is again.
I've retired.
I see what's going on here. No, there's I can't. He's kind of like he's from Charleston. He's from the coast. He's saying the Lime Tree. That's
no. Yeah, you told me about that. You told me about him.
He's it's kind of almost reggae, but I can't think I can't think of his name. But yeah, he was that song was hot.
Yeah. We could sit here for a whole hour just naming people that's coming through. And
man, we got 48 minutes. Let's go.
Hey, well, I think it's exciting. Just I kind of I did a thing back in June. Just did a writers round in Charleston, and there was nobody fancy was there. Like you wouldn't have known their names. It was me and 3 other friends of mine. But I was just, I had the notion of, there's so much talent around here in South Carolina, whether it's Charleston, Columbia, Greenville, Myrtle Beach, wherever you're from. Why not go to a city like Charleston or Columbia or Greenville and have a night where, hey, come listen to these artists and these songwriters that write their own music, and come listen to their songs and kind of get exposed to it. And so hopefully we can start doing more of those things.
Sounds like an event.
Yeah, it was a pretty good thing that we had. And I'll tell you, there's a lot that goes on to planning stuff like that. And I am not
absolutely.
Trevor Hall.
If any managers out there listening, your boy is looking to hire. So
Trevor Hall was the name of that artist.
What you looking to hire?
Trevor Hall, a manager of some sort, maybe a nanny. I don't know.
A nanny.
I might need both.
Hey, we'll talk. It pays right.
You give me a nanny?
Hey, I don't mind. I'd love to be a manager, bro. I would absolutely love that.
Maybe we'll talk after this.
And
yes,
on the side, your sister has thrown that out to me multiple times. By the way, you should ask Taylor to be his manager. I'm like, I don't know that he needs a manager, but we'll talk.
No, I do.
We'll talk about that.
Hey, this can turn into a job interview, not a podcast.
I mean,
it could be both.
As long as I get hired, I'm good with it.
Actually, it'd probably be you interviewing me to see if you could put up with all the shit that I have going on. So
yeah, we're gonna have to put an E next to this episode. Gotta love it.
Hey, no. So
we were just talking.
One thing.
It's like every episode.
So we started the podcast, right? And it was one of those things that it was. We were like, yeah, let's, we're just gonna kind of have like a family friendly show. Almost over half of our shows have had an E for explicit. Well, one guy was talking about a manatee penis on one show.
Well, here's the thing. What I love, though, I love the fact that we don't restrict people. I don't want anybody to change because they're peering out a podcast.
No, I
want them to be who they are.
I want the rawest, most
Wait a minute.
I want them. I want the most transparent.
Please, for the love
version.
of God, finish that statement.
Word this very carefully, real quick.
I want the most transparent version of the person I'm interviewing as possible.
That's much better than raw and uncut.
Yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff.
Yeah, see, I just learned the lyrics of that song. I swear to God, I thought Nelly was talking about cereal. Shimmy, 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 Cocoa Puffs, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it, Google.
So we alluded to it earlier. You had a show with Carolina Adventure World with Rodney Atkins. You know,
For him
he's
was a supporting role.
He's a legend, right?
Yeah, he is. That was the music coming up through that would have been when I was in middle school. Rodney was on the scene with a bunch of number ones.
Well, if you're going through hell and watching you, I mean, those are two. Those are two that come to mind.
What was he like?
Man, he was cool. You know, I didn't really get to meet him, to be honest with you. When we did those shows, it was just kind of a quick turnaround whenever we got done and came off. But it was cool. I mean, you know, he shouted me out on stage. So
that's it. That's all. That's perfect.
That's all I needed, to be honest with you.
Perfect.
That was, you know, and I allude back to Matt. I don't have any dirty secrets that I can't say, but he was cool. I opened up for him in Myrtle Beach back in March. We played a golf tournament and then had like a little pre Carolina Country Music Fest promotional concert. And dude, he was so nice. We had to share the green room. So the green room was in the kitchen of Dead Dog Saloon, where the manager's office is. So you have to walk through this kitchen, and the kitchen with the boots that I had on, busted my ass at least 7 times going in and out. But the cool thing was, you know, they sent out an email. They were like, "Hey, let us know what your rider consists of, and we'll have it for you." And I was like, I had to Google what a rider was. To be honest with you, I did. I really had to Google it, and I felt dumb, and I figured out. So a rider, for those of you who don't know, is pretty much a list of things that an artist and their band needs in the green room. The green room is where you hang out before you go on stage, and you know, it could be anything from water to food to whatever you might need.
There was a.
It's their gorilla position.
Yeah, it's.
I'm with it.
For those of wrestling wise, it'd be the gorilla position. But there was a. Was it? I'm trying to remember the band, but all they would want was green M&Ms.
Green M&Ms
or green Skittles, one of the two.
It helps me hit the high notes.
That was part of their rider.
The coolest thing about Matt was he had Busch Light in there, and that was pretty good because that's my go-to beer always and forever. So he was like, "Help yourself to anything," and he messed up when he said that. When I walked in and saw Busch Light, I was like, "Okay, I'll help myself to all of these." He likes Casamigos tequila as well. So
now we're talking.
It was kind of funny. I was just sitting in there, so I'm by myself. Like, he's with his band and stuff, obviously, before he goes on. I just played the show solo, so I'm just sitting in there, feet propped up, scrolling through Instagram, drinking his Busch Light. I had to taste test the Casamigos, so I'm sorry, Matt. But also, Frank Ray was there. He's also awesome. He's up and coming as well. There's a cool story on Frank. You need to look. Everybody needs to look into it. He was a cop in New Mexico for, I don't know. It was a long time. I want to say like 10 years, maybe not that long, but it was a couple of years. He had a good tenure, and I don't know exactly how he got discovered, but he ended up got away from the police force to pursue a music career, and but he still keeps in good touch with Back in the Blue or whatever, and he was just recently back in his hometown doing some promotional stuff. Frank's a good dude too, but yeah, man, I haven't. I'm still waiting to experience someone maybe like a Coetzel or something. where I don't know if I'm going to make it out alive or not, but we'll see if we ever get that chance.
So what's like? I mean, obviously, I think everyone's goal is to make it like big time, right? But like, what would you say are some pretty close, reachable goals that you see it could be in the near future for you?
I tell you, man, my main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. Y'all ever seen that video of the Roof Raft? No, that's not my main goal. My main goal is to always be a songwriter at heart. It's something that I love. I don't do very well with just conversation and talking. The way that I express myself is through music and songs. So I always want to be a songwriter at heart, and I think that it would be definitely obtainable in the next year or two to collaborate with some artists and finally get a writer's credit, or maybe just my song in general, one of my own songs or something on the radio, or it blows up, whatever that might be, 100,000 streams or 1 million streams, or I like to stick with that. And, it's like I go back to saying how all this started back in literally January of this year. It's been a year and a half in the making, but it's now finally starting to gain some ground.
Sure.
And so it's hard for me to sit here and really define that. I thought about that this week about, we're approaching, it's not the end of the year yet, but it's good to
last quarter.
It's good to go ahead and start thinking about, all right, we need to set some goals for next year and sit down, before January. You don't wait till January 1st to set your resolutions. You need to do it, a month prior, commit to it. Right. So, I'm going to sit down on that. And I don't know if performing is one of my things. Like, I think it is, but I don't know to what scale yet. I don't know if I'm, I love the intimate settings. I love doing stuff like this, sitting here talking to y'all and just.
I know you pack out steeplechase every single time you're there.
God, yeah, I love that place. My wife loves that place too. She comes home
first or last Thursday of the month, third Thursday of the month. Which one is it?
Yeah, it was we did so steeplechase. Shout out steeplechase. They were technically the first show I ever played was a steeplechase. That was last May 2021. Yeah. And they've been really good to me. We've been playing. We usually do every third Thursday of the month. There's been some times when I can't do it because stuff just has come up so quickly in the last year. Some other obligations that I need to go do with music.
Sure.
They've been really good to me. Anytime that y'all are in Camden, South Carolina, stop in a steeplechase and have lunch, dinner, whatever it might be, a drink. So,
yes.
I think I had about 47 last Thursday when I played there. So.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah.
So the COVID pandemic, how did that impact you? What did you do? What did you find yourself doing?
It's funny. COVID did not impact me at all as an artist because that's right when I just started. March 2020 was like when I wrote.
Is that a song you wrote about? Go ahead.
What was it?
I'm trying to think.
I wrote my first song like August 2019, and then March 2020 I wrote a song called "Why the Good Ones Die."
Yep, that's the one I was thinking of.
I put it on Facebook, and that was the first video I've put on social media. Like, you talk about something intimidating and scary to do. And because nobody knew that I played guitar, nobody knew that I sang, nobody knew that I wrote songs. And, I wrote it and played it for a couple of friends, and they're like, "Man, this is really good. You should post this." And I was like, I don't know. And then one night I had like 3 Busch Lights, and I was like, okay, this feels like a good time to do it. So I got the courage up and I posted it. And long story short, a week later it had 3.5 thousand views on it, which, for me, that was a lot for somebody who nobody knew that they sang and did all that. And so where I was going with all this was that COVID didn't affect me because I didn't have shows booked or anything. I didn't have anything booked. So it was a whole year after that until I booked the first show. But if anything, COVID actually helped me as a musician and an artist. And I was fortunate enough, I wasn't affected by COVID with what I was doing for a living. I worked at a hunting plantation. Still go out there frequently. And so at the time I was hunting guide / assistant property manager / just entertain guest or whatever. And then music was just kind of it was always a hobby that I did. And then eventually it just gradually music took the reins.
Well, I have to say, whatever your recipe is, whatever you're finding to be your recipe for success, so to speak, it's working. Because we had a previous guest on here out of Georgia, Canton, Georgia, who's he's a pretty big time promoter, event organizer, and he knew exactly who you are. So
really?
So we brought up your name because he organizes like large scale events with artists or bands or anything that involves entertainment. He's got his hand on it. And we brought up your name, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly who he is." So
there's a specific,
pretty awesome.
There's a specific event that I will talk to you about off air, because they haven't released it yet, but he kind of gave us the in on it, and I'll talk to you about it off air. It's if he contacts you about it, just don't forget about people.
Yeah,
okay.
Only two, because you're a single guy, so only two. But it's going to be big, so I hope it does. I hope it does come to fruition for him, because he's an awesome man. He's one of the best promoters I've ever even talked to.
Yeah, he's a guy who, just under 4 or 5 years ago, decided to launch a wrestling company because his son loved it so much, and he went to these other independent promotions and felt like they just weren't up to his standards, so to speak. And decided to create the company, and he's now the largest wrestling company in Georgia.
Definitely one of the largest in the whole Mid-Atlantic. He's amazing.
Where's Canton, Georgia?
Yeah,
it's 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of Atlanta.
Yeah, it wasn't a public event. It was a private event for a friend of mine. It was kind of that area, northeast, like 45 minutes outside. It wasn't Canton though.
I think Canton and Kennesaw are all right there together.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well,
I think that seed's planted. So I think that could be something good for you.
Well, thank you all for doing that. Appreciate that.
He knew you.
All I had to do was ask the question. I said, "Hey man, you heard of Taylor Ingle?" He's like, "Yeah, I know Taylor Ingle." And then he went into the information. I was like, "Oh, well,
yeah."
So
we'll have him call you.
Yeah, for sure. Item number 1 as your manager.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
So what's some upcoming stuff you have coming on? Any new singles to be on? I think you just released the new single, right? Or is it soon to be released?
I did not. I just got done Monday.
Okay.
Finalized. I just got the master back today. Which, speaking of which, I need to pay my guy Dave up in Charlotte. Shout out Dave. He's good. He's one of the best. Kenny McWilliams is my producer in Columbia.
Archer
Avenue Studios. We just did a song. It's called Anything Else But Me. And going back to what we were talking about, how contemporary country is going nowadays. This song is special to me in the sense of it's very big and bold, and it's really what I wanted this song to turn out to be whenever we went in. It's kind of funny. So I went in last Thursday and I was like, Kenny, I want a rock song. I said, I want this to be like big, like not necessarily heavy metal, but I want it to be kind of heavy. And so we went in there Thursday, laid down a scratch vocal, guitar, And at the end of the session, we laid down the electric guitar, and it was heavy. It was almost it was very, very similar to like something that Creed would do. And I know that Creed's not necessarily like, I'm not talking about heavy metal, but something with that sound. And I sat on it for the night, and I went back and I showed it to a couple friends, and they were like, this might be a little too heavy for you. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. So we went back in the next day, and I said, Kenny, I said, this is very close to what I want. I said, but let's make it country. And he just flipped the switch immediately, and he was like, I got you. It's amazing what he can just come up with in his mind. And I am very pleased with the song, and it's just gonna be one of those songs that as soon as you hear it the first time, I think it's just gonna stick with you and be stuck in your head all day. And it's just gonna be a good one, because Hard Street that I released was a little bit slower, which it should be. It's a more intimate song. And then Whiskey and You was upbeat with it's kind of got the rock vibe, but this one's just different. So I'm ready to, I can't wait to release it. I can't tell you when the release date is, cause I don't have one yet. Waiting on some album artwork to get back, but just know the song is done.
I know a guy.
And if I have, my artist, Shelby Hamilton, shout out to her. She's in Charleston, South Carolina. She does phenomenal work.
She I've been impressed by the stuff that, well, all your singles, how they're tastefully done and they're simple at the same time. I love simplistic graphics, and there's for me there's just something very, very nice about a simple, clean graphic and stuff. So
that's kind of how I feel too. Like I really like that. She's a phenomenal drawer, and she can do the cut and paste stuff too extremely well. But she's a hell of an artist as far as like hand drawings go. And I had that song "Sinning with You," and just strictly by the title, "Sinning with You."
That's one of the.
It's kind of about. It's a song about doing wrong, but it feels right. And I came to her with this idea. I said, you know what, it would be cool if it's like the initial sin that started it all was Adam and Eve, right? So I came to her and I said, I think it'd be really cool if you made like a female's hand holding an apple, dropping it into a guy's hand. I said, that would be pretty cool. I said, everybody who's ever heard the story of Adam and Eve would get that reference about the initial sin. And and she came back, and if you've never seen it, go look at it. It's phenomenal.
It's funny, because that was actually the one I was thinking of. I saw it. I was like, man, that is so simple
but powerful.
But man, it's.
I told her, I said, keep it black and white. And I said,
white background, red apple.
Make the apple red. That's what's going to stand out for it.
And I think
she nailed it.
The font on it was either typewriter font or else it was just handwritten font. I can't remember.
I think she hand wrote that. It was like some kind of cursive.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily cursive, but it was
nice
form of it.
I was like, oh, that's
we have a really good idea for. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be, but I'll allude to. There's a line. The hook in the song is, "If I was a bird, I'd fly away free. Yeah, if I was anything else but me." So, the artwork is going to revolve around that.
American flag with the eagle flying in the background over mountains. I already see it.
America.
No, it's going to be good though.
Well, cool, man. Well, you got new single coming out here soon.
Hopefully, I don't have a date yet. I'm not trying to be secretive about it just because I haven't picked one.
Sure.
But probably, let's just say towards the end of September, beginning of October.
That's right around there.
Man, October 1st sounds like a good date. I
know, that's a Saturday. We like to release them on Fridays. I know.
September 30th. The 31st sounds like a good date.
There you go. Is it the 30th or 30th? It's one of those.
There's a song that tells you how many days are in a month.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
I haven't heard it.
Ellery hasn't started singing that song yet, so. What's some upcoming shows people can look forward to? Where can they catch you at and stuff?
This Thursday,
Steeplechase.
We're playing.
No.
Nope.
Psych.
No, Charleston.
We're doing a show at Lexington Ice House Amphitheater.
Oh, that place is nice.
You know what? It's I don't want to say the name wrong.
It's a benefit show, right?
Yeah, it's a charity concert, and it's for Jim. Do you know Jim's sitting across from me right now? It's just know it's a charity concert. It's a benefit. It goes to a good cause, and it's put on by Caldwell Banker, and they were gracious enough to ask me to do it, so I quickly obliged, and so we're going to come there. It's going to be kind of kind of a low key concert as far as I go. I'm gonna have my boy Dave Patrick on electric, Andrew Dugan on bass, Jim Carr on drums, and I'm gonna play acoustic and sing. So, but it's not gonna be overproduced or anything. It's just gonna be just a kind of what I am. I'm not big into the flashing lights and all that stuff yet, but so we're going to do that. It's from 5 to 10 p.m. We're going to play about 3 hours of music with the band. I got my boy Ben Whitney from Charleston, South Carolina, is going to open up for me for an hour, and I like to call him the smoothest voice in Charleston. He's awesome. He kills it. Anytime that y'all are in Charleston, check him out. He's playing 4 days a week, 4 nights a week, I guess technically. But we got that one coming up, and then. So the next biggest thing that I have, everything else is kind of small stuff. I don't know if I can elaborate on this or not, but I'm going to.
We like exclusives.
October 22nd. Let me look at my calendar to make sure I got it right. But October 22nd, I'm going to do a show, pregame for the Carolina game when we played Texas A&M at home. It's going to be right there, like in the farmers market at Carolina Walk. What is it? South Carolina Boating Alliance. And so what they're going to do is, that's my boy Geddes Brandon that puts that on. They're just going to showcase a bunch of, pretty much Carolina boat makers. We got so many here. My drummer actually is the plant manager for Sea Hunt boats. So they're going to have Sea Hunt boats there, I think. Aren't they? Yeah. And they're going to have all different kind of boats that are manufactured here in South Carolina. Just kind of a showcase. So we're going to do like a little 2-hour thing before everybody walks into the game. And then the next biggest thing will be November 5th at Greenville Country Music Fest. I'll be there. It's like Carolina Country Music Fest, but it's a 2-day event. And what's cool about this is that it is a list full of artists that were very influential to me 2 years ago, or influential to me now as well. Zach Bryan, one of the hottest country music artists coming up right now, he's going to be headlining the day that I play on Saturday. Ernest is going to be there, if y'all have heard of Ernest. Turnpike Troubadours, Larry Fleet, Carter Faith Schuler, she's from Charleston. So that's like the 3 biggest things coming up. And then other than that, it's just kind of small stuff. So
yeah. I'm out. I've been out of the I guess country music.
It's like the independent country music scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've heard of Marshall Tucker Band. Definitely heard of them.
There you go. They'll be in Greenville as well. I'm pretty sure. They were at Carolina Country Music Fest as well.
But
are you singing exclusively? Is that what you do, or do you in the wrestling business we call it a shoot job? Do you have another 9 to 5er, or are you just singing exclusively?
That sounds like something special you do on a Friday night or something.
Well, it can be.
Saturday, actually, this Saturday in Camden.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well,
so
after.
Yeah, I want to talk about midget wrestling too while we can on this.
Oh, can we?
Later on in a little bit, but a shoot job. You were saying exclusively. Yeah. So are you saying I do this exclusively now? Music?
Are you?
That's, try. Yeah. That's the goal. Man, I played professional golf for 3 years, which not many people know unless you're close to me. There's a lot of correlations between professional golf and the music industry as far as just being, an independent artist. And, you're technically an independent contractor, right? Whether you're a musician or a professional golfer. And there's a lot of work that goes into crafting your profession. And, there's so many takeaways that I did wrong in golf that I can apply to music and know what to do right now. And to be honest with you, if you're passionate about something, I was always passionate about golf, but it was never there to the point where I woke up every day and just wanted to do that. But I understand it now. When you're passionate about something, sometimes you just have to take risk and go all in on it. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'll do odd things in and out to try to make money, but the music is my full-time commitment. It's what I wake up every day and want to do. And I believe if you wake up every day with a passion and want to do it, and as long as you just stick to it, be confident, there's going to be times when it's hard and there's negativity brought in your life, whether it's from the outside or just maybe it's just something from in your head. But just stay optimistic about it and capitalize on every opportunity you can. And, it's tough taking risk, right? Especially when it comes to financials. But
it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's why I also love music, is that there is a fear of the unknown, and it's it could be. That's why I say I was very fortunate that I didn't start this in 2019 and it started getting off the ground, and then the pandemic and stuff hit where everything closed down. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
So
man, that's the message I preach, man, to anybody and everybody I come into contact with. Like, I don't care like what your passion is. Like, if you have a God-given gift, passion for a reason, it's not by coincidence. It's not by circumstance. It's for a reason. It's for a purpose. You need to do everything and anything you can to use it. And don't be afraid of failing, because you're going to fail, right? But it's how you respond. Yeah. It's how you respond to that failure that separates the people who succeed and who don't.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, man. And it's honestly, it's all about just being happy at the end of the day with what you're doing. It has nothing to do with what you do. It has to do with, does it make you happy? Because I have friends that are honestly way more talented than I am with music, and what makes them happy is they don't want to pursue it to the point of having to book shows and play this and play that. Like, music is just, hey, let's just sit in the living room and let's sing. And there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with also pursuing the higher end of things as well. The performing, the bright lights, and all that. And I think that applies across the board for any job in this world or any career that you take.
Plus, I also think there's some sort of bittersweet feeling about you being the person you answer to, rather than the man, quote unquote.
That's right. When it's only yourself that hold yourself accountable, that is I tell you what, that's a big responsibility, and I think you either you figure it out and you succeed, or you crash hard, one of the two. So we're kind of doing both. I wobble back and forth.
That's okay.
Crashing hard. So.
That's all right. The important thing is you're sticking with it, man. And I wish you nothing but success. I have a strong appreciation for people with an entrepreneurial spirit who just have no fear, and just go all in. You have to go all in. If I had $1 for every person that told me no when I had a passion for professional wrestling to start my own company, they said, no, you can't do it. They laughed at me. Well, here it is 8 years later, and it's one of the largest in the state. Got a lot of connections, across the world. It's just, you got to stick with it. And you do anything you can to make it succeed.
It's funny what happens when you match passion with determination, That's my math problem for y'all tonight. Passion plus determination equals success.
See that? Jot it down.
That's right. I'm good with words, not numbers. So
that's all right. So what were you saying? What
was
you saying about midgets?
Wrestling?
Where did that come from? I know. When I think of professional wrestling, I think of midgets. What are we doing?
No, I just thought it was. I just think it was. I want to go watch one. Not one. I want to go watch one wrestling. See, my granddad called it wrestling, but it's always wrestling.
Which one, Pop or Tommy?
Tommy.
Have you been to a PCW show?
Hey, Elliot.
No, man. I'll tell you what. But I grew up on WWE. Was it Monday Night Raw, WWE?
Yeah.
And then there was Sunday Night this, Monday Night Raw, right?
Sunday Night Heat.
Thursday.
What was it?
SmackDown on Thursday night and Friday nights.
SmackDown. I'm talking about Jeff Hardy.
He's still wrestling, by the
Randy
way.
Orton, RKO, let's go. And
he's still wrestling too.
John Cena, like even the Hulk Hogan was still. I'm talking about this is when I was like 7. The Undertaker, I see he just retired recently. Him, Kane. I mean, I can sit here. I'm trying to just name them all. Vince McMahon was still doing it. Ric Flair, Nature Boy, South Carolina Boy at that. Well, Carolina Boy at that.
Kane is a mayor in Knox County, Tennessee. That
would be the scariest
dude. He's the mayor, and this dude,
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah, Glenn Jacobs. This dude is amazing.
But
scary mayor.
Yeah, I used to watch wrestling a lot. I don't watch it anymore. I really don't watch a whole lot of TV, just listen to music. But I do want to see some midgets fly off the top rope and do whatever pile driver,
mini elbow.
Yeah, a little
tadpole.
We call that a chicken
tadpole splash.
Yeah, we call that a chicken wing. That might be the portion y'all have to cut out of this podcast.
Oh no.
I was really disappointed. I actually went to one of my favorite places is Gadgets in Lugoff.
Oh gosh, no, they have the wrestling there. Right?
So I went.
You have to buy a picture of
I went there yesterday. Posting flyers for the Palmetto Championship Wrestling show coming up for the 27th, and I spoke to the lady there, and I was like, "Where are the midgets at?" And she's like, "Well, they canceled my insurance policy the last time I had that midget wrestling, and now I can't do it no more." I was like, well, if anything, your insurance policy should be cut in half with midgets. But 3-pointer. Nah, I didn't say that to her. But they really did cancel her insurance policy. They really did. So now she can't have it anymore. But
Taylor Ingle's about to get canceled by the midget.
Can we say midget?
Well, it is. No, it's called midget no, they call it micro.
I think little people.
Little people. They are called little people.
Little people.
Micro people.
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm correct here.
Macro wrestling.
No, macro's large people.
I'm a macro wrestler.
Dwarf. Are they like dwarf?
Elf.
Well, I'll tell you what.
No, you can't say elf.
In other news, anything else spicy y'all got to ask me? I'm already feeling myself getting canceled over here.
I was like, dang, I'm just trying to get off the ground. Come on.
No, well, but
spicy.
But that's how I've always seen it advertised there.
We're still on the topic.
Yeah, but I've
They should do that at a brewery.
Oh, absolutely. They go hand in hand.
So
micro brews and
microbreweries. He's about to say that. Are you about to say a microbrewery?
Oh, there it is again.
Them, right? Micro brews or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like small batch or
why when it gets good.
I drink Busch Light.
This happens to us.
And IPAs, it tastes like hairspray.
So disappointing. See, you know what that is? That's karma.
that's God.
That's like, all right, you're talking about midget wrestling, talking about micro and macro and half price policies.
Awesome.
There it is. Shut us down.
It's still going.
Hey,
oh wait,
there you are.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Y'all had me scared there. I was like, I don't know what to do with my hand. Well, ran good.
Wait, what movie's that?
Oh, that's Talladega Nights.
Yes. He's like,
so tell us about car rank.
How was the race today? Car ran good. Car ran really good.
My favorite scene in the movie is when he and I love that we get on the movies too because we're big movie people, but when he blindfolds himself and drives the car into the house. I'm sorry, man. I really thought I could feel it. That movie is a godsend. Everybody needs to see Talladega Nights.
Need to see that one, and everybody needs to watch The Campaign.
Yes.
That is the greatest comedy movie that ever.
Ricky Bobby.
Just see it. Say, I love crepes.
Oh, the fluffy pancakes.
Say it once, or I'm going to break your arm. You might as well break my arm, you little French man.
See, he said he doesn't watch TV, but man, he knows Talladega Nights.
If I'm not paralyzed, then why can't I feel this? Don't you do it, Ricky Bobby?
Don't you stick that knife in your leg? There it is. He did it. Oh man. So if you're not busy, are you busy Saturday?
Me? This Saturday?
Look at your calendar.
I don't know. I have to look at my calendar. That's a great thing though. I always have to look at it's not an excuse, I swear. It used to be, well, let me look at my calendar, but now it's like, no.
Legit, Taylor. How many days a week are you staying booked or involved?
Honestly, I know this is about to be anticlimactic, but twice a week, on the weekends, Friday or Saturday or Thursday or Saturday or something. I just played in Clemson, South Carolina, Sunday night. That was the first time I was ever there.
God's country.
It is pretty up there. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, and I just love that y'all have to remind me how to spell fucking Clemson. CLEMSON.
Y'all do the same thing with Carolina and Gamecocks.
It's got a P in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Clemson.
See? Depends on who's saying it.
No, but I did go up there Sunday night. I met a guy at Carolina Country Music Fest. He runs a bar. It's called Tyler's Pub at the Pier. It's up there. First of all, I didn't realize that Clemson, downtown, is pretty much right on the lake.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it's not right on. You're not stepping out of TDs and going to hop on your boat, but it's pretty close to the lake. And so I went and played there. It was awesome time. I'll be back there September 22nd. They're doing a writers round, and they're including Carolina boys that either you have roots from Carolina. I think I'm the only one that still lives in South Carolina that's going to be there that night. The others are in Nashville, but hopefully I'll be in Nashville come November, December. So,
you know what I can't?
So we'll be there.
I can't stand when people say Clemson with a Z.
Oh yeah,
it bothers me. Just
Clemson.
I'm going to make my prediction now. Clemson is losing this year to Carolina.
You're not the first person to say that. I mean, realistically, I think it's going to be.
And I'm going to say I'm going to say Carolina's going to win by 10.
That's strong. That's an aggressive prediction, but I think it's going to be closer than it has in recent years for sure.
And it's going to be in Death Valley, which is going to make it even sweeter.
I don't know if I can say win.
I think South Carolina's gonna get upset pretty early.
Ooh.
At their season.
Game one.
I think there's I think
Nothing new to me.
well,
Nothing
listen.
new to me.
I want to see South Carolina succeed. I really do. I like Shane Beamer. I like the fact that they picked up Spencer Rattler transferred there. I think that's a good thing.
That's the biggest thing.
But at the same time, there's a lot of hype right now in South Carolina, which means that's a lot of pressure to live up to. And
But at the end of the day, I'm excited that there's hype again. I mean, I'm excited that people are anticipating the season again.
And
it's been a long time coming.
And here's the thing with Clemson fans, right now, we're not excited about the season. And we're not excited because of how crappy we were last year. But there's rumors coming out of Clemson that our defense is a lot better than it was last year. We got people
which is scary,
who are healthy. They're finding out that Brent Venables was a good defense coordinator, but he wasn't the brains behind the operation. They're finding that out. Kay Klubnik has I think lit a fire under DJ, and you also have Hunter. What's Hunter's last name? Anyways, he originally came to Clemson. He left, and he's back for his. He left Clemson. He transferred. Played Northwestern for 3 years. Came back as a graduate, and is finishing up his final year of eligibility at Clemson. And he's been able to kind of lead some as a leader, but as Hunter Thompson. But I think DJ has kind of gotten a fire lit under him because he's got legit competition now with Kay Klubnik. And so we'll see. I don't know what to expect.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say both teams. Well, Clemson, I think, finishes top 10. I think Carolina finishes top 25.
They finished top 25 last year.
Well, yeah, it's my prediction. I think.
Well,
go ahead.
I think they both finished top 15.
I think anything's better than being a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Okay, we're done. Nah. Don't. So much for selling that computer. It's fried. I don't know. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm not even having this conversation.
Oh, Jerry.
I wish he would go. I wish that for 20 years.
Well,
Are you saying that just because of the Cowboys shirt? Or do you actually watch do you like pro football, Taylor?
To be honest with you, I really don't watch.
Okay, see,
I'm gonna give you a hot take right here, real quick. I don't watch a whole lot of anything with sports. Not because I don't like it. I don't get into it to the sense of I can't tell you stats or nothing like that. I don't do NFL a whole lot. Like to go to the games. Like to drink some drinks, have fun with friends.
Tailgate's fun.
I watch professional golf. That's about it. So I'm about as vanilla as you can get.
Did you ever meet John Daly?
No, but I did actually FaceTime John Daly.
What? I'm jealous. That guy's like the GOAT. No, I mean for other reasons besides.
So back in April, and I can say this now. There's nothing. Back in April, I played a private event. It was a 50th birthday party for a friend of mine that I've gotten to know over the last year. She's helped me a lot through music and getting to meet people. So she turned 50. So she had a birthday party, and we ended up Trent Tomlinson came in.
Nice.
And for anybody who doesn't know Trent's a phenomenal songwriter. He's written songs such as Brett Young. In case you didn't know, his song "Damn Straight" that Scotty McCreery just cut. It's on the radio. Trent also did "He's an Angel with No Halo, but one wing in the fire." So one wing in the fire. Trent had a hand in Jamie Johnson's "In Color," Check Yes or No, George Strait. So I mean, the list can go on and on. So, anyways, Trent loves to play golf. obviously John Daly loves to play golf because it's made him a bunch of money over the years. But John Daly also loves music. So we were sitting there. I met Trent, and what was funny, he was like, "Hey man, thank you for bringing the sound stuff. You gonna be the sound guy tonight?" I was like, "Actually, I mean, yeah, kind of, but I'm supposed to play with you too." He was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He was like, "Well, why don't you play your own songs? Tell us a story. We'll do like a writer's round. You tell a story, play your own songs that you wrote. I'll do the same." So I'm playing my songs that nobody knows, and then he's over here playing Check Yes or No and In Color, and in case you didn't know. I was like, "All right, thanks." But anyway, so we were just hanging out in the patio before we went and played, and he was like, we got talking about golf and all that, and he was like, "Hey, you want to FaceTime John Daly?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do."
That'd be awesome.
We FaceTimed John Daly, and it wasn't like I'm holding the phone and talking to John. It was very low key. It was Trent did all the talking. You know, it was just, "Hey, I'm Taylor. Good to meet you," or whatever. And so John Daly answers the FaceTime. He's shirtless in his kitchen. You know, he's got that big old beard. Shirtless in his kitchen. He's like, "What you doing, bud?" And Trent was like, "Nothing, man. Just hanging out here in Charlotte, about to play a show." And John was like, so that's Trent said that and took a drink. He was like, "What you drinking on?" And Trent was drinking on, a beer or whatever it was. And then he goes to John and he said, "John, what you drinking on?" And John holds up a handle of vodka, says, "Vodka?" He said, "What you mixing it with?" He said, "Nothing." And put it down.
He's the GOAT, bro. He's the GOAT.
Yeah. So they talked about that, but
I actually met.
Yeah, John was.
I actually met Trent Tomlinson. I met Trent Tomlinson, Mark Wills, Jason Michael Carroll, and it was Gary Allen in upstate New York, and Bucky Covington. That was another one. Bucky Covington. I always thought Bucky was pretty talented. I love Bucky Covington.
He had a twin brother too, Rocky.
Yeah.
What's the?
Yeah.
What's Bucky's song? We were born to mothers who smoked and
exactly.
drank.
I loved Bucky.
Yeah.
I think he just had that. I don't know. Just had a cool look. He had the good hair. I'm jealous. I don't have much, but yeah, Trent Thomas was an awesome guy. I was a kid.
At least you got the Cowboys.
But
also, I was going to tell you, don't lick that microphone.
No, man. I got a lot of room between this microphone.
That's mine.
No, trust me, it ain't happening. I'm not doing that. Oh man.
Anything else spicy? Y'all need any dirt on me?
Oh no, we're not here for expose.
Nah, man, we're not TMZ.
Well, see, I was trying to. Honestly, I was kind of trying to go that route so I could just whether it's any publicity is.
Hey, you share what you want to share, man.
Yeah.
This is your time.
We don't control who listens or who hears.
We don't control who listens, and we also don't control our guests. So, as far as what they say.
Hey, man.
I watched The Notebook for fun.
You watched The Notebook for fun? Is that what you said?
And I cried. Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Gets me every time, man. That one does. To be honest with you, I listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. Cornelia Street, Live from Paris, turn up. That makes me cry too.
You're single.
A lot of things make me cry.
You are single.
Lord, I'm single. Yeah, that makes me cry too.
Tears of happiness.
I'm kidding. That shit's lit, to be honest with you. But we won't go into any more details.
Now that was getting good. See? You shut it down.
Well, there was this one time.
Was it band camp?
Oh, gosh.
Nah, it was something like that. But, no.
It was just one time at Steeplechase.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually,
she had all her teeth. Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh,
hey, let me
she
just
took them out.
Hey, if you
it's always better if they can take them out anyway. So.
if you
girl, your last name must be Hoover.
if you ever go to Gadgets, make sure you get a Nutty Russian.
I'm dying
because we want.
Listen, you got to hear this story, Taylor.
Shane and I walk into Gadgets one day.
Which, by the way, I love Gadgets. Okay, so let's just preface that we love Gadgets.
I absolutely love their wings and stuff. We'd actually ordered food.
Yes, a lot of food
for our families, and rode to pick it up. While we were there, they tell us, "Hey, your food's not ready. Would you like a drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I would like a drink." Shane orders his. And I asked the lady, I said, "Hey, can you make a black Russian? Not a white Russian, a black Russian." She's like, "I don't know what that is, but I make a mean nutty Russian." I was like, "What's that?" She said, "I'd get my Kahlua, I mix some peanut butter whiskey." And I'm like, "All right, I'll try it." So I'm sitting there drinking it, and this guy looks over me. He says, "What the hell's that?" And she said, "Oh, Cletus, that's a nutty Russian." He said, "A nutty Russian? What the? Well, that's a nutty Russian." And she said, "Oh, try it, Cletus."
His name was Cletus.
That was legit. That was his name. That's not something we're making up here.
At a bar.
Shut up and drink it, Cletus. So he
gave him a sip. He
tries it. He
no teeth.
Throws it back, and all of a sudden you hear this. That's all right, but I think I just stick with my Mountain Dew and vodka.
Oh my God.
So here he is making fun of Elliot's drink, and you think it'd be he's drinking something hard. He's like, "I'll stick to my Mountain Dew and vodka." Like, okay, okay, Cletus.
Sipping on it over there in a Bojangles cup.
I've become a fan of old fashions. I love old fashions. That's like my go-to.
I've just been doing straight gin lately, to be honest with you. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Straight gin?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why his beard's so thick now.
Oh, my.
Yeah, no, that actually is. That's, I started doing it, and my beard started growing out, so I just do, a glass of straight gin before bed every night.
Sleeps like a baby.
It's good. That. What else? What else I've been doing?
Chase it with some CBD.
Yeah. Yes. Delta 8.
Oh, there you go.
You
I know about that.
It's legal. I think it's legal. Is
it
legal?
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't feel like it's legal.
Yeah. No.
We have some stories about that too.
No, we don't. Not enough time.
All fair.
But man, I was fortunate. So I went to what was that event?
Thanks, dude.
No, thanks, dude. That's another story.
Yeah.
It was Coastal Carolina Fair in Charleston or Ladson. I think it's called Coastal Carolina Fair in Ladson. It's an interesting place. I got to see Clay Walker there, man. I'm a huge Clay Walker fan. So like we're there with our T-Mobile giddy up because we're there selling stuff, man. And he's like, he looks out in the crowd and he's like, "What song y'all want to hear?" And like everybody's of course yelling, "She Won't Be Lonely Long" and all these other hits. And then I yell,
"Yeah, we do that."
"I Can't Sleep" because that's one of my favorite songs. And and then of course I get the little slip to get an autograph later, and guy walks by and says, "Clay Walker don't do autographs." I was like, well, who the hell is this guy? Screw Clay Walker. I'm like, I was all, man, but dude, yeah, he puts on a good show too.
But you met another one of our other guests coming on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, dude, I am thrilled. So you heard of Brandon Davis? He's got wheels on the truck. Destiny.
Do they go round and round?
They might.
I mean, that's what the song says.
It does.
Does it really? Sorry, Brandon. I was not making fun of you. I just took. Do they
do what the wheels on the bus do?
Yeah. So I think the story behind that, honestly, is he was just messing around and working on that song because Will's on the bus. He's got 3 young kids, and his youngest one.
Yeah, I looked him up the other day. I saw he's got a family. Hell, he's got a lot of. Right now.
He's got 950,000 followers on Facebook.
320 monthly listeners. So Brandon, I'll shut the fuck up because I only have 700 monthly listeners. So sorry for making the comment of did they get round and round?
But yeah. So interestingly, like I've been following Brandon Davis for a while now. He got kind of famous off like
where's he
Tennessee.
from?
But his story's similar though. He just started this 2-3 years ago.
Yes, that's why it's all clicking with me. It's that kind of eerily thing. So he got famous off of TikTok, and like he had a passion. He has a passion for music, and his wife
did Tim McGraw cover. Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw called him and said, "Hey man, I want you to go tour with me." I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. But anyway, so like he got famous off TikTok, and like his wife, they started this game called Hey Baby, and like she was telling him about what TikTok is, and because he had a passion for music, right? But he didn't know how to start or where to go. And she just said this thing called Hey Baby. She would say, Hey Baby, and she would name a song or an artist. Sing me some George Jones. And he'd have to instantly, without even thinking, sing a song by the said artist. And of course, how the interwebs are. It caught fire, and
he started one of his own stuff.
He's taken off pretty quick.
Yeah.
And
give me some lessons because I'm to the point now. I try to do TikTok and get famous off of it, but to be honest with you, it sounds like OnlyFans is the best.
I'd subscribe.
So I think that's how I'm going to get my fame and notoriety.
Why did you laugh at that? That was funny. OnlyFans.
No. I held it in.
I held it in. But
I was thinking, oh yeah, he's going to do foot pics.
Oh, feet fetish.
If we get
OnlyFans feet.
Gross. I think feet are nasty.
If I get 2 people that text me that say that they listen to this podcast, I'll start an OnlyFans, and I won't hold anything back.
All we got to do is send a text message.
It can't be us, Elliot.
Oh.
I'm just saying, it's
Taylor Ingle on OnlyFans, ladies.
Check me out.
$49.99 a month.
Might guitar, might not.
But for real, man, I love the success you're finding. I think it's only going to go up. I mean,
I appreciate it, man.
You got number one is passion, dedication. What'd you say? Passion plus dedication equals success. Isn't that how it went? Right.
Passion plus dedication equals success.
So I think as long as you stick to your own equation, I think you'll reach where you want to go.
For sure.
I'll tell you real quick how that, give an example how that formula works out. 3 weeks ago was my best friend's birthday on a Tuesday. And so we had dinner. We had a couple margaritas and stuff. It was a group of us, about 8 of us. His girlfriend, a couple, her roommates, and then a couple of our guy friends together. And we had a passion. And it was to go to the strip club. His birthday. And we were like, we're not going to do this on a Tuesday night. We're not. And you know what? I said, I just happen to have $400 worth of ones in my car from tips over the past couple of shows. And I said, you know what? I've already got the ones. We don't have to go to the ATM.
Passion plus motivation.
The passion.
Dedication.
Plus the dedication. We actually did it. We went to the one right there off of by the airport. I guess they call it Platinum West. The other one burned down.
Yeah.
But we went in there. I can't divulge too many secrets or too many details, but we met a phenomenal lady. She was called The Widow. Go look her up on Instagram.
I don't want to.
I'm not.
You'll find out why she's called The Widow. She has a spider web tattoo specifically somewhere on her body. If I can go into I can't go into any more detail other than she can expand the web and she can close it. Put it to you like that. But it was passion plus dedication. It equals success. And we had a good night. So my friend had a good.
I don't know how to feel about this.
You might need to throw motivation in there somewhere. There was a motive for sure.
The widow. I thought she killed her husband or something. Or nope.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those. She came up and they're salesmen. They're entrepreneurs themselves. So, they're going to sell themselves and they're going to try to, private dance and all that. I was like, I'm not interested. And long story short, ended up somehow got to talking about music, and then somehow I find myself 45 minutes later in this conversation with a stripper about music, and she ended up following me, Instagram, follow my music, and we still keep in touch.
Followed you home?
So it's
she followed you home?
No. No. I don't think she did. She might know where I live, but I hope not.
Unless she's listening to this podcast, which if you do know where he lives, it's okay.
The web. I don't know. Talking about web opening, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like a physics.
Oh gosh!
Just saying.
I need a drink.
So yeah, that's my story about passion plus dedication equals success. If you have a passion and you want to do something, dedicate to it.
Okay, so we always name our episodes, so it's got to be, it's got you got to have that equation in there, and we got to put the widow. I don't know, something
Physics.
else. Physics. Sure.
Physics.
I was not expecting it to go.
Physics.
Oh.
That's awesome.
As soon as he said widow, I was like, "Oh yeah." So her husband died. Oh, okay. Oh, nope. Wrong.
Nope.
Has everything to do with a tattoo.
Yeah. Sounds like a real life example of a Porky's movie.
Varsity. Yeah. I was thinking Varsity Blues.
Varsity.
I give it a 10.
That's good. That's definitely it.
Miss Davis, you got a problem with me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, dude, we appreciate your time. We ain't gonna keep you any longer and stuff. You want to shout out how people can, listen to your music, follow you on social media and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on OnlyFans starting tomorrow, Taylor Ingle Music. And then Instagram, you can also follow me on Taylor Ingle Music. TikTok, I'm done with the singing covers. I'm going to start just posting some dumb videos, I think. But follow me on that on TikTok. That's Taylor Ingle 1. But yeah, I'll have shows, and I need to start posting them a little bit more frequently. But to follow my music, find me on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm on Pandora, YouTube. I think what I'm going to start, I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start doing YouTube videos, and I'm going to just post me, guitar, and post songs that I've written that people have not heard. Because I kind of feel like YouTube is the one place where it would kind of be like a hidden gem if you just search me on YouTube, and I only have my songs that are out now on streaming services and one other video. But I think it'd be cool to just put one out every week, and so maybe you can keep up with the original music that way. I think that'd be cool. Acoustic guitar, just me singing. So, yeah, YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music. Follow me that way. And other than that, that's about it.
Well, cool, man. Well,
ladies and people, if you want my number, just slide in the DM. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That's easy.
I usually get back within 1 to 2 business days. So, I don't have Tinder or Bumble. I don't do that anymore. I had a bad experience with that.
Sounds like a story.
Yeah, man. I kind of got catfished one time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. We're not ending the interview yet.
No. What it was...
what happened was...
Maybe I catfished her, to be honest with you. I kind of thought it was fun to make a make a Tinder account And I put every picture on there that was not me, and I matched with somebody that I knew. And I just went to the bar one night. We ended up saying, "Hey, okay, let's meet at this bar or whatever." And so then I met up with her at the bar, and she was like, "Already know you." I'm just kidding. I just made up that story. I didn't really do that. How'd you go on?
I was so excited. I was like, all right, it was going to be a dude, or something was going to happen here. There's going to be anticlimactic finish.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, it wasn't like that. I'm trying to think if there is a crazy story. Do I have any more juicy
that
stuff
he wants to
you?
share?
That's the key word.
Key. Names have been what's that? Like, names have been redacted.
Hey, you should create a Cameo account.
Yeah.
Cameo account is where, you know what a Cameo account is, right? So Cameo account is where people can pay you to provide a short message or send a happy birthday.
Provide a service.
Yeah, it's a service. So like, I mean, we have friends of ours in the wrestling industry that you can quote unquote hire them, contract them to send a birthday message to your kid for like $50.
And they're successful with it.
Yeah.
I might start that.
Cameo.
I'll leave y'all with one story, and I'll get some insight.
Oh, yeah.
Not naming any names. This is going to be good.
I'm ready.
So one night, I was out at a bar and met this girl, and I don't approve of this. I went back to her place, but not in that way. Because just wait, hear me out how the story ends. So I went back somewhere that I was not familiar with at all. It was in Colombia. Never been there before in my life. I Irish exited, left my friends, did all that. Went back home, and when I got there, my phone died. So my phone's dead. Well, she was moving out of this place at the same time. There was only a couch and a chair. There was no bed or anything. So she gets a phone call from a friend, and she says, "Hang on, I'm going to go see my friend real quick. I got to give him something in the parking lot." Long story short, she got in the car and left. This is at 3 a.m. I got a dead phone. I'm somewhere I don't know where I am. In an apartment that's cleared out. So I'm starting to freak out. I don't know where I am at all. My phone's dead. I don't have any way to get in touch with my friends. So I'm like, all right, I need to go bang on the neighbor's door at 3 a.m. And I was like, maybe just by chance, there's a charger in this place. So I go through all the drawers. All the drawers are empty in the kitchen, everything. Well, I find a cube. Okay, I got that. Plug it in. I was like, okay, now I need a cable. This is a true story. I'm not lying to you. And I couldn't find a cable. So I go upstairs. There's nothing there. Where the bed would be, there's nothing. No dresser, no bed, no nothing. Open up the closet. Somehow there is a phone cable on top of a shelf in the closet. Just the phone cable. It's as if she separated
like a setup.
So I plug it in. My phone turns on. It's 4:30 a.m. I call a friend. Doesn't answer. Call him again. Doesn't answer. Call him again. Doesn't answer. I was like, oh, my God. All right. Who do I know? I called another friend that was in the same house that friend was. They were roommates at the time. He answers, 2 rings in, 4:30. He's like, hello, what are you doing? I was like, dude, you got to come save me right now. He was like, where are you? I said, I don't know. I said, I'll drop you a pin. So I dropped him a pin, and he came to where I was, but it was one of those, you know how when you drop a pin, you don't end up at the exact location where you're supposed to be? It was one of those. I was in an apartment complex, and so he ended up, it was at least 500 yards away from where I needed to be picked up. But luckily, he brought my friend's Yee truck with him, and he called me. He said, where are you? I said, I'm here. He said, I'm here too. I was like, well, I don't see you. He said, hang on. Let me put it in neutral real quick. So he put the truck in neutral, revved it up. It had straight pipe. He's flooring the truck. at 5 in the morning. Whoa, whoa. I said, I hear you. I shut the girl's door and I ran immediately to the truck. Hopped in, got home at 5:30 a.m. And now I'm here, got a music career. So that could have been.
Oh my God. So I do have to ask. So
Where were
what part
you?
of Colombia was this? Not where, but
It was outside of down. It was at the retreat in Colombia. And at the time, I did not know where the retreat was. And if you know where the retreat is not walking distance to really anywhere. It's at least 3 miles, 3, 4. It's like 3-4 miles walk back to where my friend was staying. Could I have walked it? Yes, but I didn't know where north, south, east, or west was. So
Hey, you wait 2 more hours, you'd seen the sun. You know.
if I'd have waited 2 more hours, I'd seen the sun. He came to pick me up, and then I get a text the next day from that girl. She's like, "Hey, sorry, didn't mean to leave you," and all that. I was like, didn't respond to her. I was like, no,
blocked.
I got to. I just thought it was funny the way that his beacon was revving the truck up in the parking lot at 5 a.m.
That's a good friend.
Could have been the whole.
And that's a story my mama does not know about. So.
She listens to this show. She might.
And if I ever come back on here next time, we'll just do a whole session of all the stories that I have because I got way too many of them.
I love story time. Story time with Taylor.
There you go. T.I. Oh, that's probably copyrighted.
Well, thank y'all for having
man,
me,
we
boys.
appreciate the time. Again, guys, y'all heard. Make sure you follow him on social media. Take a listen to his music. I'm a fan of Whiskey and You personally. Got new music coming out. Keep up with him. Got some shows you can catch him on here in the Midlands and as well as other parts of South Carolina. And yeah, and as his career continues to grow, he'll be branching out, I'm sure. But he is up and coming country music star, South Carolina's very own Taylor Ingle. Taylor, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all so much.
Man, what a good interview. I've been watching him since he first picked up the guitar. So,
well, it sounds like you had a hand in him getting the guitar.
Well, yeah. So I am a little biased. You know, he is my brother-in-law, but nah, man, just to watch him grow. You know,
does it make you want it more?
So yeah, so there's part of me who's envious, of the success he's had, because it is kind of something that I've always wanted, but like I mentioned in the interview, I felt like I had to make a decision of choosing marriage and a family, or choosing music, and the choice I made, I would not trade for the world. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love the life we have. But you see people all the time who don't get started till 35, 36, 40 years old nowadays. So I still get to do music. I'm just not in the, I guess the realm that I thought I would maybe do it in, but yeah.
Well, and I look at people like, man, look at like people like Brandon Davis, man, who like, he's coming up in a few weeks, but he uses his family.
Yeah.
Like incorporates them heavily.
You know,
you can do it.
I'm my own worst critic. I just don't, I question when it comes to music whether I'm good enough or not. And that's one of those things that I know is a big hindrance of mine. You know some of the stuff I've recently decided to finally pursue, such as voiceovers and a little bit of graphics here and there. Just finally trying to have multiple streams of income, but also in something that I enjoy doing. Eventually, I'm hoping this catches on some way, somehow. I've talked to a couple of people, radio personalities, and kind of gotten insight on what we would need to do to get this show on air. And they say a lot of, usually radio companies or radio stations, will charge a fee to have your show on for however long it is. So that's something that I just quickly looked at, and it's just growing it slowly but surely. But before we continue, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Day Soul Coffee Lab out of Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all, I consider myself a coffee connoisseur. I absolutely love coffee. I found what I believe to be the absolute best coffee out there. With Day Soul Coffee Lab, you can be sure to get coffee that's super smooth and always fresh roasted. Some of the best, if not the best, coffee you'll ever drink. So swing on over to the website, daysoulcoffeelab.co, and use promo code LOWDOWN to get 10% off your order. They even have a subscription option where they'll deliver coffee directly to you every month. So, guys, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to drink coffee, you might as well make it great coffee. It's a big shout out to them and everything they do for our listeners and for us. And, man, we just I could sit here for the next hour or so and talk about my brother-in-law, but there's more stuff to talk about. Had some pretty exciting things happen with Raw, and I feel like SmackDown and Raw every week has gotten better since Triple H has taken over. You continue to see great vignettes and promos and everything by Karrion Kross. I feel like we're seeing a passion from Drew McIntyre that we haven't seen in a while. Kevin Owens is getting back to old KO, which I absolutely love.
Love that it's a slow build too.
Yeah,
it's like a weekly build.
It's one of those things that wasn't sure how to take him when he first approached McIntyre a week ago on Raw. This week he faced American Alpha. Kevin Owens did, and man, it's good to see him back. And something, I don't know if you like this, Shane, but I'm a fan of someone who has more than one finisher that they allow to win with it. So like Drew McIntyre obviously has the Claymore, but he also has the Future Shot DDT, right? I love seeing people with multiple finishers. On the video games, they'll call them signature moves and finisher moves, but I love seeing that.
Oh yeah, all the greatest stars I think always had several ways of being able to beat you. You choke slam, tombstone. You had rock bottom, people's elbow.
Yeah, I feel like for the longest though, when you like choke slam, tombstone, prime example. I feel like for the longest time we've seen huge choke slam by Undertaker. He pins him. We know it's a 2 count automatically, right?
A close 3 though.
Well, but we know that. We know what to expect. So like Kevin Owens over the past couple of years has used a stunner. He's used that. That's been his finisher. Of course, it led up to
that was a build.
The feud with Stone Cold. And then this past week, you see him bring back something that I was wondering why he wasn't doing anymore. The pop-up powerbomb. I absolutely love it. But now I'm excited that you get to see him do that or the stunner and them both be equally effective. I saw something a week or so ago with Dolph Ziggler where he won with a super kick. And I was like, wait a second. No zigzag. He won with the super kick, 1, 2, 3. And I was just like, man, see, this is the type of stuff that I'm going to say wrestling in general has been lacking in, right? The Edge primarily uses the spear, but I love his execution.
Is that the DDT move?
Yes.
Was the rotating DDT there?
Yep. So it's the DDT.
Then he also used to do the Edge. It's like a full Nelson type move. Picked him up and I don't know.
The electric chair drop. He used to do that.
That was pretty cool.
Is it the
Edge had several.
Is it the Educator? I think that's the leg lock he uses.
He had real educated feet. Just kidding. That's RVD, but you get it.
But so that's something I'm really enjoying. We saw a big return that last night. That again, the way WWE did it this time,
so random.
I loved it.
It was, but it also showed that he wasn't tied to the angle with the one in the crowd there. It keeps kidnapping people.
Oh, Dexter Lumis. Yeah.
Yes. So I thought. Sorry, Dexter. Getting back into the product. I'm catching up. But yeah. So that I liked how they did.
Formerly Sam Shaw.
Thank you.
Impact.
It's completely again, like it just proves that he's not. It's not. There's no relation. It's its own thing. They're obviously about to push Johnny Gargano. I mean, he's in line now.
Yeah,
on the main roster. The music, the crowd reaction was so like, oh my gosh, like they weren't expecting.
Shattered heart. Shattered heart.
I love that. The Rebel Heart.
Rebel Heart. That's what I mean.
I love that. I love that song. So I'm ecstatic.
But let's talk about what we're gonna get. We're gonna get DIY,
please,
versus the Usos.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, dude, the Ciampa
Miz
Gargano feud.
Oh, it was great.
Made some of the best storytelling in NXT.
But what happened right before that feud was all said and done, or right after the feud was all said and done, was Ciampa and Gargano got one last run together.
Yep.
They teased the way reunion last night with Gargano and Theory. But it's one of those things you knew. The Theory's push recently. There's no way he falls under Gargano under the way.
Oh no, Gargano laid him out. So
absolutely.
That's obviously squashed. But it was a nice little ode.
I think it sets up a few for them too.
Dude, I'm ecstatic, man. I'm wondering, like, it is crazy. No, I've always loved Johnny Gargano, but for some reason I didn't realize how short he is.
Oh, he's tiny,
so that might be a hindrance. I don't know. I definitely see him with the Intercontinental belt around his waist.
Here's why I don't think it's a hindrance. I don't think it's a hindrance because of how long he held the belt at NXT.
Yeah,
now
solidifies him.
Now we also know, and that was under Black and Gold,
Triple H.
But did it take him a little while to get it? Yes. However, he was always in the main event picture for the longest time.
Because he's one of the best workers, I think, on the planet.
There's a reason he's called Johnny Wrestling, right?
Yes.
Baby wrestling. He talked about baby wrestling last night. That
was a good promo.
He cut a really good promo.
I was very surprised. He never had that kind of mic time before.
Well, I'm thinking he was given that type of mic time toward the end of H's NXT run, but I wasn't tuned in then. I was tuned in to AEW. So, which brings me to something that we recently saw about the TNT champion for AEW, Wardlow. We found out how awesome of an individual Wardlow really is from Lady Frost. Lady Frost, for those of you who hadn't seen the story, Lady Frost, they were all at a show together.
Wardlow said hi to Asher, so he already was the coolest guy in the world.
First of all, yes.
Sorry, Lady Frost.
Listen, immediately that night, I was like, all right, Wardlow fan. Posted on Instagram, at Real Wardlow on Instagram. Liked it, blue check mark, boom, got him. So I've been a Wardlow fan ever since. And, it's one of those things that Lady Frost tells a story on her social media where a little girl wanted one of the Lady Frost Russell Buddy dolls or something like that, if I remember correctly. The mother tells the little girl, Lady Frost overheard the mother tell the little girl, hey, baby, sorry, we can't get that. We can't afford it. Little girl's all upset. Wardlow sees this. Wardlow goes over to Lady Frost and say, hey, here's the money for that. Please give it to the little girl. Wardlow, man, see, you read stuff and hear stuff like that, and it's just like, man, it's kind of what it's about, right? Now, granted, we're not asking you have handouts for everyone, but hearing about a big name wrestler at a show, have empathy and sympathy for a child, that always hits the spot, right?
Yeah, we need to have an episode with Wardlow. Call it the Wardlow Down.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, we need to reach out. I think he's just a great individual to talk to.
He is definitely on the top of my list of people I want to interview. First, because of him talking to my son. Second,
do you imagine Asher's reaction if he saw Wardlow
So
episode?
Asher's really pumped about Caprice Coleman.
Oh yeah,
Caprice Coleman, 2 weeks, guys. Pretty excited about that. But Ring of Honor commentator, NWA, wrestles this weekend against Chris Adonis for NWA Power.
And then I keep thinking about
formerly Chris Masters.
I like talking about good things with WWE. So how about that match with Balor and Ziggler? Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler, dude. So
first, before we get to the match, let's talk about the promo between them in the back.
Oh my gosh! So I think Dolph Ziggler is.
I think he's the best worker, and
he is phenomenal.
No, that's AJ Styles, but I get what you're saying.
Sorry, AJ.
No, but seriously,
Alan, Undertaker. Alan, where are you going? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Boneyard match.
No, such a good match. No, but I completely agree. Dolph Ziggler, dude, it's like one of those things that you heard it, and you like Finn tell him you're just like Edge. You old guys try to get these young guys and teach them something new.
They're almost the same age.
Well, but
I love.
And I think Dolph even said that.
Yeah.
I think Dolph or Finn one even talks about how I think Dolph said, well, Finn, the reason I'm not trying to take you under my wing is because we're the same age.
Yeah, something along those lines. So you're older. I can't remember how you worded it.
You're just as old as I am. So
amazing.
But you see how long it took you to get where or something on those lines. And it's like, ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
Got him.
And man, just those. I can watch Dolph Ziggler in the ring.
I don't know why I want a Kenny Omega versus Dolph Ziggler match.
Oh, that'd be gold,
bro. That in itself would headline, and it is awesome. Just because their mannerisms, the substantial over exaggerations of things, the animations, the selling ability. Oh my Lord, they are like, I don't know, it's just destined.
And in WWE, my top 3 for in-ring work,
Ziggler's got to be there.
Ziggler's 1.
Orton.
No. Although, I mean,
he's close.
Well, and I'm thinking of people who aren't injured right now as well. But no, Orton's top 5. Well, so I was going to have Ziggler,
yeah,
Rollins, AJ.
AJ's fine wine. Better with age. It's crazy. Defies all logic.
Every time I watch Rollins, time and time again, he just gets better.
I think AJ Styles is the Tom Brady.
Oh yeah,
As he gets older and older and older, he's just smarter and smoother. I don't get it, but it defies logic to me.
But like you said, Randy Orton, man, he's a whole nother level. The Legend Killer is the legend now.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, he, and I'm wondering about this injury. Like, is he legit injured?
Gotta be.
Because
is he filming The Masked Singer? No, that'd be
a cowboy.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
hey, RKO.
Here's how about WWE under this Triple H regime, kind of owing to the legends a little bit here. As they travel these different towns. Trish Stratus on Raw was you got Kurt Angle coming up in Philly. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Or Pittsburgh. We're in Pittsburgh, right? Well, somewhere in Pennsylvania.
They're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so it's Kurt Angle, but I think
it's
cool.
Angle country. That's Angle's stomping ground, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Britsburg, if you're asking AEW, but
Trying to give WWE all the credit part of this segment.
No,
you got to throw AEW in there.
But no, I agree though.
But I like it.
But it's one of those things. It's
Beth Phoenix with Edge.
Yep,
in Toronto. Even though she's from Buffalo, but it's close.
They're married, so
yeah. There you go.
By proxy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I was digging Edge's gear last night.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah,
I did.
The white had the Canadian flag odes and
very
stuff.
Sharp.
The maple leaf on the knee pads and stuff.
So we're gonna get Edge and Beth and Rey Mysterio is what I heard.
La Familia is what they're saying.
Oh.
Well, excuse me, that's not what they're saying. I saw someone who said they wish that for one night they could get Vicky Guerrero and they could create La Familia again with those three.
And then we come up with that, and then I'm no longer a fan.
Wee wee. No, but they've had some good callbacks, so to speak.
I like it.
Whether it's segment wise, whether it's bringing talent in, and one thing I can appreciate as well with Trish Stratus coming in last night is that her and Bayley had beef for like the whole past 2 weeks, so it was also relevant. At least their segment was then relevant. It wasn't just, hey, Hall of Famer here. Oh, the current talent, go interrupt them. There was, even though it may be recent, there was still some substance there to where they could, it felt real.
Absolutely.
Trish Stratus just looks weird to me now.
Did you hear her accent come out on Raw?
Oh yeah, on Toronto.
I was like, okay, all right, there it is.
Hello, Bailey.
I was like, okay.
You want some caramel corn, some great Kool-Aid?
But
what's that all about, eh?
I mean, thinking about Raw, man, like, dude, that main event, and it was the Gargano build up. I mean, Gargano came before it, and then the main event with Priest and Edge was. Edge is almost 50 years old, man, and he's going through announcer tables. He's 14 years younger than Sting, and Sting's that's for you, Jonathan. But but he's going through announcer tables. He's doing Hurricanranas off the top rope,
dude. How about
bro?
So here's what I loved last night. There's a move Edge did that everyone knows it by a certain name, and WWE called it that certain name. They didn't call it the Panama Sunrise or whatever.
Oh, the Canadian Destroyer.
They called it the Canadian Destroyer. Now,
awesome. Small things, folks. Small things.
He did
they're
it.
Opening up the thesaurus.
He did it, and you heard Jimmy, I think that's the announcer's name. Edge with a Canadian Destroyer.
It doesn't matter what his name is. The fact is, the shackles are coming off.
Listen, when he said that, I was like,
rewind.
Did he just say that?
Sure did.
Petey Williams is probably having a conniption right now.
Small things, folks. Like all these banned words. They're not slowly. They're quickly going away. Like they're saying wrestling and pro wrestling,
dude.
Finally,
and it's refreshing, right? It really is refreshing. Viking. I'm hoping the quote unquote Viking Raiders become the War Raiders again.
Oh, they took away war because of the war, the word war, right? Duh.
But the Viking Raiders
thank God for Triple H.
But the Viking Raiders look amazing. Their promos currently have been the best they've been yet. And their music is so good. It's really heavy. Really heavy. But they had a promo the other night, talking about sending the New Day to Valhalla and all that, and because they've been in that feud. And we saw Sammy and Kevin Owens hug it out at the end of SmackDown when SmackDown, right after SmackDown went off air, fan footage showed Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn hugging it out, which tells me, all right, there's a chance we might get a reunited Sami Zayn and KO, which is gold, you know, and it looked like Matt Riddle was in the middle of the ring encouraging it and stuff. So
I hope they give these guys their first names back.
I agree.
Riddle and Theory. You said Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's something I'd like to see changed.
And I think it, well, so we've already seen it change. Because it was just Garza, but it's back to Angel. No, or was it just Angel? One of the two, but
yeah,
but it's
right.
back to Angel Garza.
Slowly.
Humberto
Methodical.
is back to Humberto Carrillo.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I think
that has to happen.
You know, I think so. I've noticed them, instead of referring to Tommaso Ciampa as just Ciampa, they're starting to throw the name Tommaso in there. So yeah, I think it's one of those things that's coming back around. You know, and then you see people like Dexter Lumis appear, and it's not just Lumis or just Dexter; it's Dexter Lumis. So
the common denominator, I think, with everything with WWE right now is, man, for the first time in a long time, there's more good than bad.
Oh yeah,
they're still bad, right? I'm not saying they are still bad, but there are some still.
And
bad
there's bad stuff in every show.
Yeah, but man, there's more good, and it's one of the best things going.
Well, and that's it. But let me iterate that. Bad stuff across shows is across the wrestling industry. It's not just WWE. It's not just AEW. Now, you can get in.
They're just held to the standard because TV. That's all.
Yeah, you can get in arguments about, you know, who has more bad spots than others, and that's all based on opinion. But we've said it the past several shows. Wrestling is in a very, very healthy spot right now. It seems, despite rumors going around currently that there's a lot of dissatisfaction in All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, that's becoming. But here's the thing, man. Like, it's like election polls, bro. Like, they can't all be wrong, you know. And there's a lot of stories coming out about the behind the scenes in AEW.
Well, and
I don't want to speculate. I hope it's not the case, but it's
and that's what's interesting is, you know, you have a lot of people who saying Punk threatened to walk out the other night.
I could totally see that though.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can only base someone based off their history, right?
Yeah.
You know, apparently there's legit heat with him and Hangman. It's not just
you'll be able to tell if they're like apart on TV, you know, there's legit issue. Hangman Punk.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, there's legit heat. It looks like with him and Hangman because of what he said. From what I've read, because of what Hangman said to Punk, during their feud with Hangman, saying, "Hey, he's here to rid AEW of CM Punk. He's here. He's there to save AEW from CM Punk," type of thing. You know, I'm excited to see what this championship match that happens
between Punk and Moxley.
Yeah,
it's interesting because they're in Ohio too. And where's Moxley from? Cincinnati. So it's interesting. You got the home state boy versus, I think, the person who's most marketable as champion right now, Punk.
Yeah, sure.
Which way are they going to go?
You know, I mean,
I see Punk walking out, but
I see Punk walking out.
I see no contest. So,
yeah, you know, my question becomes, well, and there's been a lot of speculation because All Out's so close.
Yeah, you're weeks away.
Yeah, it's so close, it's right around the corner. And people's like, wait, why are you?
There's a reason they're doing this.
Which is also why they are speculating that there is legit heat in the locker room, that legitimately there's a chance CM Punk loses the belt, and then
this will be a telltale sign. I think if you take the Punk off the belt, well, hey, that fits too. If you take the belt off Punk on Dynamite instead of a pay-per-view loss, there's something wrong. I mean, it's still a Dynamite episode, right?
Sure.
So if you do a major title change like that, I mean, WCW Nitro used to do that, but like you see what happened to them. But I mean, that's a big deal, man, to lose your prominence.
Well, we say you see what happened to them, but that was several years after the fact. If you think about it. I mean, it wasn't something they did regularly. It was something that they did. Now, they had heavyweight championship matches regularly, but I didn't feel like you saw titles change hands regularly on Nitro.
I beg to differ with that.
Well, not the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship. Google it. There were several with heavyweight title changes on Monday Nitro. DDPs. You had Goldberg's beat Hogan.
I know Goldberg beat Hogan.
Yeah, there's been several. More than I would think would be seen on regular network TV.
Well,
but either way,
yeah,
I still think it would be a big deal to see if Punk lost the belt on Dynamite. Especially going into All Out. That's why I think it'd speak volumes.
But unless we're back to the point where, hey, he's not cleared. He's not healthy. He can go good enough for a match, maybe.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. I mean, that's the thing. It's roping me in. I want to see what they do.
Yeah, but I mean, because personally, what I saw this past Wednesday was homeboy limping hard to the ring.
You think he's selling it?
I think he's legit hurt. I think he was trying not to show his limp, but I think
well, he had surgery on that foot.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't mess with the feet, man. Like there's two things I never want to have surgery. Well, 2 areas I never want to have surgery on: my hands and my feet. You know, there's just I don't know people that recover well from them.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens on Dynamite. Got a pretty good card. We saw the return of the one and only Kenny Omega.
Thank God. I think
Kenny, by God, Omega.
So somebody brought it up, man. You know that he's what's the word? Like he was a little rusty, right? It was, of course, he's rusty, man. Like the guy's been out 9 months.
Yeah.
Lord knows how many surgeries he had. Supposedly, I've heard
9. I've heard 14.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of
crazy numbers,
random surgeries, and you know, to the point where Omega even said where, you know, this is the only time he wants to go through what he went through. You know, he doesn't want to go through any kind of like these kind of surgeries again. I think I think he looked really good. It was good seeing the Dapper Yappers when he got the card handed to him. Sold it well. I love Justin Roberts, by the way, one of the nicest guys I ever met. But seeing him, he had that look into the hard cam with the one eyebrow up, and he just read, went through the shtick. And Kenny was
North Carolina.
Yeah, crowd loved it. I mean, we all knew it.
Yeah,
we knew where they were going. But for being out for 9 months, I think Kenny Omega looks really good. And I think he even went on Twitter saying, that wasn't his best, but he's only going to get better. So I'm excited. That's good to see the cleaner back. I like him with the Bucks. I'm interested to see where they go in this tournament. I think they win it. That's been my pick.
You're
the House of Black guy.
I would like to see the House of Black win it. to me, top to bottom, it doesn't make sense for. Let me back up. I expect the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to win. But if I was to look at it based on talent, I don't see how the House of Black couldn't take it or shouldn't take it or Death Triangle. Now, I don't see Death Triangle getting past Will Ospreay and Aussie Open, which is on Dynamite.
You don't?
I don't. And the reason I don't is because if Ospreay and Aussie Open win, then they face the Young Bucks and Omega next week. Or whenever that match is.
All Out's coming up. The finals will be All Out.
Finals will be All Out. And I think what we get is Young Bucks and Omega versus House of Black. Unless they let the Best Friends take it.
Best Friends.
I love the Best Friends in Orange. I just don't see that happening, you know. We also saw almost somewhat of a turn by Daniel Garcia. That was him and Jericho had their face-to-face meeting on Dynamite. Dude, Daniel Garcia, take him out of the JAS and put that sucker in the
Black Star.
Put that guy in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, he is definitely. He's a star for sure. Got Billy Gunn versus Colton Gunn. See if Dad gets some revenge after the Gun Club joined. I forget the guy's name. He's the manager for Jade Cargill.
Stokely.
Yeah,
Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely Hathaway. You saw the Gun Club join it. What's perceived to join him.
What's funny is, and it's weird, I thought, I got to adjust my headset a little bit.
Are you good?
I thought this was going to be a way to bring the Road Dogg into AEW because we heard that story was a thing.
Oh, you mean new executive at WWE, Road Dogg?
Ladies and gentlemen, DX has taken over WWE. They, without... it's long-term storytelling, brothers. 30 years.
It all started in 1999.
Oh my Lord, man! But like, I legitimately thought, and I told Jonathan that I keep referring to Jonathan. Everybody will know who he is soon. But yeah, like I told him, I was like, man, like Road Dogg's on his way to AEW, and then all of a sudden, nope. It's like
WWE signs Brian James as a new executive or something.
Yeah, they're using the word executive an awful lot. Does that sound familiar? Shots fired. Telling you. Yeah, you said it the other day.
Pew, pew.
You said it the other day about the war. I mean, war is coming.
Yeah,
I mean, like DX is the one who shot the first shots in the war.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
So here we go. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that just came to mind.
Yeah, it's you'll be hearing more from Jonathan in a couple weeks.
Everybody like Jonathan. I like Jonathan. He's all right.
I like him. He's all right. He sucks at life, but he's all right. Just kidding. Jonathan, I love you, man. Kind of. Seriously,
not really.
No, you got Dax Harwood versus Jay Lethal. Go ahead and give the man the Wrestler of the Year,
dude. I love FTR,
please.
But I love
Dax Harwood,
dude, and I love Cash too. But there's something about Dax by himself.
Yeah.
Wait till the day one day when somebody turns on with somebody.
Huh?
Wait till the day someday when FTR will turn.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, bro. Dax versus Cash.
Oh gosh.
Oh my Lord.
I don't want to think about it.
We actually saw that match. They did Dax versus Cash.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to turn someday. All good guys turn. Even Hogan.
Good guys don't last, but bad guys do.
That's right. What did I say to that guy at the restaurant?
Thanks,
dude.
Thanks, dude.
Okay.
Speaking of brother, head on over to Revolution Nutrition in Camden, and we have some amazing teas with the Clash in Camden coming up this week.
This weekend, bro.
This weekend, here. Clash in Camden. Get your tickets.
Years in the making.
Get your tickets at clashincamden.com. Head on over to Revolution Nutrition. Get your clean energy drinks, teas. They got
meal replacement shakes.
Meal replacement. They've got Running Wild.
I've had it. I've had Running Wild. I've
Hulk
had
Hogan. Stinger Splash. Inspired by the GOAT.
I also had the Rock Bottom Shake today. I had the tea and shake combo. It was amazing. The Rock Bottom Shake was phenomenal.
Lindsay had the Stone Cold brew.
That's the only one I haven't had.
And, bro, it's good.
Mm.
It's good. What? It's good. What? Oh, it's delicious.
Stone Cold brew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so head on over to Revolution Nutrition. Mention the lowdown and get 10% off your order.
And I have a little bit of a news announcement. So Revolution Nutrition will be live, pal, in living color at Clash in Camden, selling those teas.
And also speaking of live and in living color, guys,
Cult of Personality.
we will be live for a couple hours for a pre-show.
Ooh, do I get to talk?
If you're there, I know you. Well,
if you're there,
well, I know you guys. I know you're getting interviewed by radio and all that.
Yeah, big. Lowdown comes first.
So we're gonna try and be on for an hour or so, maybe a little longer with time permitting.
We need everybody to go live at this place, man.
Yeah,
we folks. This is gonna be. I'm praying for the biggest turnout in PCW history.
Guys,
it's a 100% benefit show.
Guys, my plan, if everything works out as planned, is to go live around 3, and we're gonna have a lot of the talent come up, do some quick interviews with them. So you're getting me a good bit of the talent for PCW that day. And, hey, who knows? We may be able to get some, not spoilers, but get some insight on insider information. So, guys, make sure you tune in that day. We'll go live on YouTube and Facebook. And if Instagram will allow, maybe even Instagram. So, exciting stuff. But, yeah, that's what's happening this weekend. And for the rest of Dynamite, you have Ricky Starks is going to make an appearance. I'm excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, another one,
what
man.
he's on. And, Powerhouse Hobbs spoke the other night, and I honestly like the direction Powerhouse is going to. It's intriguing. He's just wanting to run through people, which, hey, when you're as big as Powerhouse Hobbs is, I'm okay with that. Death Triangle, as we mentioned earlier, you got the Mid-Atlantic champion. No. All-Atlantic champion. Pac versus and Penta El Celler and Ray Phoenix, Death Triangle versus Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. Man, guys, go ahead and
I got Death Triangle.
Really?
I do. I just think you have to reward your faithful. Okay? That's what I think this is. So
I agree with that. I do agree with that, but I don't.
I love Will Ospreay.
I don't think. What if Will Ospreay and Aussie Open make it all the way to All Out?
I don't know.
Or what if Will Ospreay and Aussie Open lose? Will Ospreay causes Kenny Omega and Young Bucks to lose. Will Ospreay and Omega's at All Out?
That's where we're heading. We have to be heading to a Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match at some point. That has to happen. I think if the injuries weren't to Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly,
oh yeah,
I think this would have been Kenny Omega and the Bucks versus Adam Cole and Red Dragon. Like that had been how this was going. Sure. So it kind of sucks that that kind of injuries kind of plagued it a little bit. So I don't think anything changes with the Omega and the Young Bucks. I think they're there. I think that's always been the plan. It's just now we got to see what's the alternative to what was to be.
I don't think Bucks and Omega win it.
They're in the finals.
I don't think they win it all.
They might not win it, but they're in the finals.
I'll have to look at the.
He's just looking for an argument.
No, I need to look at the bracket, because that'll tell me. For me, that'll tell me, whether or not.
So you got what, a month all out? No, when's all out? The 9th?
September 4th.
Oh, dude, you're a week and a half away. There's no way they don't have Kenny Omega and the Bucks together in the finals, right? What do you do with Omega then?
Young Bucks and Omega versus Aussie Open and Will Ospreay or Death Triangle, and then whoever wins that match is in the finals. Okay. And it'll be against House of Black.
All right, so you have
House of Black will beat Dark Order.
Okay,
I would completely be okay with Dark Order winning.
So you do have so it's going to be Kenny Omega and the Bucks.
Best Friends have already Best Friends haven't beaten Trustbusters yet. Best Friends have to beat Trustbusters, or did they?
I love the Trustbusters. I love Slim J. I'm just saying, I'm a big Slim J guy. Wild side. Parker Boudreaux. What about Parker Boudreaux? Yeah, he's kind of just blew my mind.
So
Sunny Kiss.
Yeah, that's something that definitely kind of caught me off guard. Anyways, with Parker Boudreaux though, it's one of those things that, dude, I just feel like he tries to be Brock way too much.
He looks just like him. I'm pretty sure if I took Parker Boudreaux in 2022 and Brock Lesnar in 2002, I don't think I could tell them apart.
Well, and maybe he doesn't try to be Brock. Maybe it's just one of those things that there's so many. Y'all can't see it, but Shane's over here like doing the whole shoulder thing that Brock Lesnar used to do.
Yeah, come on.
Dude, I saw something today that has said, you want to talk about GOAT and be able to change? Don't ever tell me. What about Brock Lesnar? You had Party Brock, MMA Brock, Nerd Brock,
Farmer
Brock,
Hunter Brock.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Wow.
Sorry.
But, he
drove a tractor.
Dude, it's great.
He flipped a ring.
He tried.
Nah. It was cool.
It was cool. I hope Parker Boudreaux succeeds. I think it's one of those things that, I think there's a lot of similarities in size with him and Brock. I think that's what gets him all the comparisons. At the same time, I think there's just, you can see how green he is in the ring. I'm not a fan of his finisher. It's like a back body drop into a clothesline. Like he picks him up like a back body drop and then just does like the final cut on him. But, trust buster.
In Bust We Trust. I like Slim J. He's one of my favorites. I've always loved Slim J.
Yeah, you're the one that kind of got me on Slim J.
Dude, he's so man, a lot of those Georgia boys, man, like that area is so overlooked. There's so much talent coming out of there.
It's one of those things that you don't realize how old he is.
Yeah, what is he, 40?
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
He's got to be close.
It's pretty amazing, the shape he's in when you look at his age. And it's it's just one of those things that it's like, man, he's so smooth in the ring.
Yeah, he's been wrestling since 2001.
21 years.
I was trying to find his age. 37, May 17th, 85.
Okay, so he's not quite 40, but he's a year older than me. Ugh.
And he's in ridiculous shape.
2 years older than me.
He's in ridiculous shape. He's kept in great shape, and the brother can go.
Yeah,
he's fast. He's fast, and I love the whole look he's always had.
They've gotten a big push quickly though,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it's because of the big knee. You know what? Surely it can't be. I mean, they have. Nah, I'm not gonna say it's the big need because Tony Khan could have easily put in the Gun Club.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily come up with another faction with, heck, anybody. Hook is got that FTW title.
So, I don't know if we talked about that, but did we talk about that? Just, dude, the command, the respect he commands, being so young and so elementary in his wrestling, like his pro wrestling career. Like, he's so young, and dude, like the amount of love the fans have for him, and when he came out,
yeah,
kind of ignited that.
Dude,
Ricky Starks.
The way you put that, the command in the ring.
Simple, bro. He doesn't do anything fancy.
He doesn't talk. He comes out, does his thing, gives a few looks, leaves, and it works. I seriously think I've heard his voice at most 3 times.
Yeah, I think once was when he was talking to Danhausen.
Yeah.
Ha.
Danhausen.
Oh my God.
Thank
you, Ricky Starks. that moment.
That put him over.
Bro, it set him off and it set him onto an amazing face turn, and he's thriving. And I love his entrance music. I get amped when I hear Ricky Starks music. I loved it.
Reminds me of a young post Nation of Domination rock.
I look confused right now. There's just a lot
to
take in there. But yes,
Rock was still young, but he was come out. He was electrifying, wearing the flowy shirts, the bright flowy shirts.
Bro, does he
dress pants?
Does he not remind you of
Rocky?
Rock? I mean, the look.
Yeah, that's exactly what he
is. He very well could be the second coming of the Rock.
I agree. Had a scare early on with AEW with the whole neck injury thing, but I mean, he looks like $1 million now and everything. So, man, what else we got going on? Anything? Nothing this weekend I can think of on TV, wrestling wise. But we probably mentioned Clash in Camden.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this week has been a blur, man, because my whole focus is on this Saturday. I think it's gonna be got the card finalized.
Oh, cool.
I think it's gonna be one of the most memorable shows. Kind of little spot show on the build to September 10th when we begin the Palmetto Classic in Lexington. So it's gonna be a nice build. I'm excited, man. I think it's been a long time coming for Camden. The Camden Police Department has been absolutely amazing throughout the whole process. Scott Smith over there, which, There was a lot of. This show's been a real eye opener, man, because like remember years ago when I tried to get a show in Camden,
Sure,
and some things happened, and it created a lot of heat, mainly because of that other promoter who nobody in Camden's a fan of. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to give. But just kind of tell everybody like there was an opportunity to have a show in Camden years ago, and it was going to be PCW in Camden, and something happened, and another company came in and did some shady stuff, and they went with the Camden Police Department went with that company for that show, and turns out that promoter made a lot of people mad. Did a lot of small businesses in the Camden area wrong, and created a big disdain between the police department and pro wrestling. And so I had an opportunity to go back in these years later. That must have been 3 years ago. And I get to go back in. I'm older. Yeah. I'm more mature. Well,
just kidding.
Don't ask my wife. No, but I am more mature in the respect that I have more years under my belt.
You get more experience.
More experience. So we sat down, we hashed it out, and I've been told countless times by the person at the Camden Police Department that they wish they went with us before, but past is past. This is now. They're already talking about wanting to do it twice a year in Camden. So they're really happy with the relationship. I'm really happy with the relationship. I'm happy with all the relationships with the small businesses that I've had. And helping promote the show. Even got Camden High School today to post on their Twitter. I got Cool 1027 posting on their website. I mean, I got a lot of people behind the show, man, and it speaks volumes.
I know. I even rode around with you for a couple hours one Sunday, visiting small businesses and stuff, and man, it's pretty overwhelming the reception of, hey guys, a local wrestling company bringing a local wrestling show. Here's where we normally are at. The owner is from, or the owner has lived in the Kershaw County area for years now, and we understand the history. It's something we'd like to do, and many of them were very, very open about it, receiving it and stuff.
Something I've learned, man, throughout the process is, I love Camden's very, very, very tight knit. It's probably the most tight knit community I think in Kershaw County. They love their police department.
Yeah,
so that is something I have come to realize. And
you've, we see that all the time with, just the response to Sheriff Lee Bone when he posts stuff online.
Oh yeah,
and good and bad in regards to the community, whether they're for or against. There's response nonetheless. So
he generates attention. Like Sheriff, whether you like him or hate him, Sheriff Bone has when he speaks, people listen.
He
carries himself so incredibly well.
You had several weeks back. Well, it might have been last week. You had the incident with what many were believing was a bomb threat at the school, or a possible active shooter at the school. And what we learned was, someone had hacked this kid's account or created a fake account.
Hawaii, right?
Yeah, that was all the way in Hawaii. FBI. FBI got involved. They hunted him down within 24 hours.
You're going to talk about that post they put.
Yeah, and it was something that Kershaw County I thought handled well. Well, I understand the fear of sending your kid to school. I have children in school, and just, hey, I'm not going to send my kid to school because of this possible threat. And I understand how difficult it can be to trust authorities because, you don't know what you don't know, right? People on there, you should have let us know this information at 10 o'clock last night. Well, they made a post at 4 o'clock. Hey, guys, we know about this. We're investigating it, blah, blah, blah. A couple hours later, they even came back and said, we have verified and have it on good authority that this is a fake account. This is not the kid people are saying it is doing this. So kudos to Sheriff Lebon and the Kershaw County Sheriff's Department for handling that. I felt like they handled it with grace. I felt like they handled it expediently. They did mention that this is not the first time this has happened to the kid, which then for me, it's like, all right, well then we need to possibly not question the parents, but, question, and in my opinion, as a parent, if this has happened to your kid multiple times, but his account's getting hacked, you need to create a safeguard. So, but man, you got anything else?
No, man, I had a good night.
Yeah,
I love talking to your brother-in-law, dude.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He is. He's worked hard to get where he's gotten to, and I'm proud of the kid. Done well, and he continues to do well. So, guys, remember to go follow him on social media. Taylor Ingle Music and Taylor Ingle 1 are his handles. They flip-flop. So I think Taylor Ingle Music is his Instagram. Taylor Ingle 1 is his TikTok. You can also find him on Facebook as well. Shane and I got the opportunity to listen to his new single coming out. He'll be posting about when to release it, guys. I'm not trying to be biased here, dude. It's good. It's really good.
He's so incredibly talented. He doesn't even know how talented he is.
Yeah,
he's humble. I just think, man, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, somebody's gonna see him. Somebody's gonna take note.
Oh yeah. So
that's all it takes. That one person. You never know who's listening.
Guys, we appreciate your time, and we will talk to you sometime next week. As always, my name is Elliot,
and I'm Shane,
and we'll holler at you next time on the Lowdown Popcast. And as always, keep it popping.